everybody. Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great day. So y'all know that I love Jersey Shore, right? Please forgive my screen. I use Nimbus because I'm poor. Anyways, so this is why I don't trust reality TV because this right here is the perfect example. Jersey Shore, the real reason why Mike the Situation Sarantino and J. Wow Farley hookup was excluded from the show. Many fans know Mike Sarantino, The Situation, and JWoww have a history together, but now, thanks to a former Jersey Shore producer, we finally have the details about their hookup. Here's what happened between Mike and JWoww and why it was never aired on Jersey Shore. So they hooked up during season 1. See, I thought whenever JWoww booped Mike in the face, I knew there was some kind of tension there, and it was more than just her wanting to be walked home from the club. I knew it was more than that, and a lot of us could tell it. Now, we know she flirted with Polly. We're not judging here, guys. We're just talking about, the show. It's not judging. But I was really interested on why they excluded it from the show because that would have made great for ratings. Now, I'm sure she didn't want to seem like she was playing around or whatever. Who cares, But by them excluding this from Jersey Shore, it makes me feel like I can't really trust a lot of what happened or what they showed to us because just like with Roger, they claim that Roger didn't go to Italy, but we have footage on YouTube of Roger in Italy during that season with Jenny. So we know that Roger did, in fact, go to Italy, and I don't know why she made it out like he didn't go. I don't know. Anyways, they hooked up in season 1, which is what fueled the punch in the mouth. I knew it. That was later turned by the story production, they explained. Originally, Jenny and Mike just made out, but Jenny definitely pursued him more when she was intoxicated. They continued. There were a few more intoxicated arguments during this season between these two. JWoww Farley was a little jealous of Sammy's sweetheart. Before she started dating Ronnie, Sammy's sweetheart was pursued by Mike. Their romance was short-lived, as documented during the first few episodes of Jersey Shore season 1. Sober Jenny was not interested in Mike, and Mike didn't carry the way, obviously. The producer continued, but when Farley got drunk, all bets were off. The way Mike pursued Sam was not the way he pursued Jenny. They continued. Jenny was on the back burner, and Jenny didn't like that. Girl, you had Tom at home. You shouldn't have been worried about what Mike was doing. He was single. He could do whatever, but I'm not judging. I'm just talking smack, y'all. Y'all know how it is here. According to the Jersey Shore producer, Jenny JWoww tried to pursue Mike because she thought maybe Mike would eventually grow to like her. Evidently, JWoww would confess her feelings cameras in at least what was said in individual interviews. From this producer's perspective, Mike wasn't genuinely interested in JWoww because she was in a relationship with Tom. Obviously, you can't really go nowhere with that if somebody's already in a relationship. After their hookup, JWoww continued to bring up Tom, which made Mike kind of back off and go back to Sam. Excuse me, I have a cold. And they continued. Now, we did see that with Polly. She would get a little, lit or whatever and flirt with Polly, and then all of a sudden she'd feel bad about Tom and back off. So I can see her doing that with Mike too. Like, oh, flirt, and then, well, I got a man back home. Let me back off. And we all know that the Situation does not like having his time wasted. Y'all seen that a lot in Jersey Shore. He'd be like, what are you doing here? If you're wasting my time. He didn't like that at all. Don't waste the Situation's time. So she continued to bring up Tom, which made Mike kind of back off. By bringing up Tom, I mean, when Mike would attempt to pursue her, she would claim she had an old man, and so Mike would back off. But I think Jenny did that to say, I have an old man, help me forget about him. But Mike didn't play that game. No, he didn't. And he really liked Sam. I don't care what none of y'all say. Mike did. He did like Sam. A lot. Now, I'm not saying they should have dated or nothing. I'm just saying I could tell that he really was interested in Sam because Sam is the only person I ever seen Mike pursue like that. Now, I'm sure he did the same thing with Lauren, but we never seen that on camera. I'm saying what I've seen on camera. He did pursue Sammy more hardcore. He pursued Sammy more than he ever did Paula. He treated Sammy, in the beginning with a lot of respect and kindness. And he even said, she's, an awesome girl. So JWoww and The Situation hookup didn't make sense to include in season 1. According to the former producer, JWoww and Mike's hookup didn't fit in the storyline they had outlined for season 1. See, that's what I don't like. They have a storyline. If it's reality TV, you shouldn't have a storyline. It should be, if this happens, Bam. If that happens, bam, cut out the boring parts. Leave in the entertaining parts. Y'all know that's how it is with TV. You don't want a lot of boring stuff. They want high ratings. So they want all the interesting, drama, gossip, fighting type stuff. But they should have left it in, because I'm telling you, the ratings would have went up way more than what they did, because I'd have loved to have seen that hookup. I know Tom would have been mad, but oh well. And we kind of seen that too, with Mike, Polly, and Roger. I think JWoww was just kind of done with Tom, but didn't want to let him go because, he was a good guy. I don't know. We decide to leave certain stories out because we work on a storyline that revolves around MTV, VH1, the viewers, marketing, the brand of 495 Productions, they explain on Reddit. It just wouldn't have made sense to include the Mike and Jenny hookup. Yes, it would have. It would have been some of the best ratings you probably ever got, because we were hooked from the first minute. We were hooked. Y'all know we were. Even if you didn't like Jersey Shore, you watched it because it was so entertaining. Come on. It wouldn't have made sense to include Mike and JWoww hookup. It would have gotten too complicated too early on and would have encouraged viewers to watch something else. That's bullcrap. That's not what producers wanted. That's bullcrap. I don't buy that for 1 second. No, we would have ate that up. I would have ate that up. Come on. I would have slurped it up with a biscuit. Come on. The producer, along with many fans, wishes the storyline between Mike and JWoww made the final cut of season 1. Honestly, I wish we would have kept this storyline in, but I understand why we didn't, they explained. It was a little too confusing and didn't make sense with the way production wanted to present the show to MTV. They didn't want it to look like one big orgy, though I guess it kind of was, laugh out loud. No offense to Jenny, though. It was, though. Polly, Vinny, come on, that's what it was. Jersey Shore, we all know that's where people go to party. And when you party, it's going to happen. They added how they love JWoww and respect her for being an authentic, genuine person while filming the show. That's awesome. I like that. So, and then they talk about where he was sentenced and all that stuff. We're not going to talk about all that because I haven't researched a lot of that. But who wants to talk about Ronnie? Oh, my word. So if you don't know, there's a new show, Family Vacation. I'm sure a lot of the old fans know. And Ronnie has been on it, and Ronnie's been in some trouble recently. Him and some of the people he's been involved with. Now, Sammy did not come back for Family Vacation. A lot of people are upset that Sammy didn't come back. I'm not. Excuse me. I think that Sammy had enough. And, Sammy, she's very independent. I'm not bashing nobody else in the show. I'm just saying, Sammy has opened her own store. She has a lot of her own fashion products, things like that she does, her own YouTube channel. I support Sammy on YouTube. I think she is wonderful. She has grown in every way, the right way. Sammy is the perfect example of when you're like kind of childish and bratty in your 20s, and then life hits you and you grow up and you just flourish into this wonderful, humbled person. I feel like that's Sammy now. She was a good person back then, but she really grew a lot. If you're wondering what I'm looking at, it's my Tourette's. I'm sorry. I'm going to do it a million times. Oh, well. But yeah, Sammy, you have to feel bad because you could tell it was a very toxic relationship that she had with Ronnie. And not everyone, but a lot of people blamed Sammy back then for the arguments they had. And a lot of people took Ronnie's side, but that's changed. Now, being that Sammy hasn't been in the tabloids in no kind of trouble, and Ronnie has, a lot of the fans have kind of flip-flopped saying that, Ronnie was the toxic one. We don't know that. That was behind closed doors. We don't know. We just know what we were allowed to see on TV. And obviously, we weren't allowed to see everything. And I'm sure they kept a lot of Ron and Sam's stuff out too, a lot of the sweeter moments, nicer moments. I'm glad that Sammy has moved on. I'm glad that she has her own stores and her own like fashion lines and stuff. I'm so happy for her. Sammy, she definitely has really grown a lot and very independent. I would love if she came back on the show, but at the same time, I wouldn't want her to be stressed out because, you could clearly, if you've been in a toxic relationship, then you know how stressful it is. You know how much it does to your health. It impacts your health so much. And that's something that the situation Mike had said way back in like the 3rd season. He told Ronnie and Sammy, he was like, this ain't healthy. And he was right about that. It was not healthy My problem, my problem with MTV 495 Productions, my problem with that whole MTV VH1 network is why didn't anyone step up to get in between Ron and Sammy? Why did they let it go that far for ratings? They destroyed each other. This show has an obligation to protect the people on the show. And even though it's reality TV, and I know they want high ratings and they want it to be very interesting and stuff. I think that is so messed up that not security, producers, nobody stepped up and said, look, this has to stop. We cannot continue to throw her stuff out the door. We are not going to let you stand here and break her stuff. I'm not bashing Ronnie when I say this, but we all know he did that and that happened. And I'm sure he's not, proud of it now. But my point is, when reality TV, when they make shows like this, there should always be protection. There should always be security, but there should be personal protection too. When Ronnie was breaking all of Sammy's stuff, a producer, security guard, somebody should have stepped in and said, no, you will not bust all of her belongings up. You can get out of this house and calm down, but you will not destroy her belongings. Because that's why she went home. He destroyed her glasses, her all her stuff. He busted her stuff up. And this show sat there and allowed him to do so. Even like with the physical altercations, that they should have had somebody right there ready to go, but they didn't. They wanted it to happen. And that's why I don't like reality TV. Now, used to, yeah, I was young. I watched it. I ate it up. It was great. I still watch some shows. And there's a lot of scripted stuff that you can just tell it's scripted, like 90 Day Fiancé. But some of the stuff that went on with Ron and Sam should not have happened. That show should have protected her, and they should have protected Ronnie. They should have said, no, you two cannot sleep in the same room. Y'all cannot, if you're intoxicated, you cannot be in the same, if y'all were fighting. But they didn't do that for them. They just, go ahead, let's get the ratings. What if somebody had actually gotten hurt? That's what I say. People are hurt every single day in domestic violence, in toxic relationships, if you will. People are hurt. People even die by accidents. There are so many accidental deaths due to toxic relationships, domestic violence every day. It was so dangerous for that show to allow the fighting to go on like they did between these people. That should never have happened. Now, I understand a lot of the fans eat it up. That's not fair to Ronnie and Sam, though. It's not fair for this show to allow all that to go on and allow them to possibly get hurt. What if Sammy had fallen and hit her head on something? What if Ronnie had fallen and hit his head on the pavement? What if, there's just so many things that could have happened. Luckily, that didn't happen. And I feel like reality TV needs to step up and start protecting their actors, their people, better. Just like Bad Girls Club, there have been some horrible fights on there, and I know the viewers love to watch it. Just like with Tasha and Shelly, everybody loved that fight. But what if one of them had fallen and hit their head on a desk? Anything could happen. What if she hit her just right? Bam, dead. Things like that happen every day. It's just sad. I don't know, but I do. Anyways, getting back to the original point, I wish they had have included this in the original first season, even second season. I would love to see edited clips if they had those still, and they do. They're choosing not to show them, but they still got them. And I don't think less of Jenny for date. Hey, she went to Jersey Shore. She was living her life, baby. She can do what she wants. She's a grown woman. She was a grown woman then. I'm all for it. Have your fun. The only suggestion I would give to people out here is if you are going to see other people, let your spouse know. Let them know. Make sure they know and they're understanding, they're okay with it, they want to break up, whatever it is, but let them know because people get hurt because of things like this. When you lie and you cheat, people get hurt. And sometimes it gets really ugly. And if you or anyone are out there going through a toxic relationship, please let someone know, please safely get out. Please, there are so many places on Google that you can contact. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm never prepared when I do videos. I'm so never prepared. I don't ever know what I'm going to say or talk about. So, um, the National Domestic Violence hotline. Is this it? Security alert. Monitor, possibly erase completely. If you're concerned, monitored. Call. Okay, let's see. Yes, they have a number here: 1-800-799-7233. And you can chat with them, and you can text with them, and you can automatically exit off the screen right here. Leave this site safely, and then you just hit the exit right there, and it completely goes off. If you or anyone that you know needs help, please, be safe about it and get it.
All right, man, you ready?
Yeah.